Welcome to Spoken Injustice, where we put the criminal justice system in the dock. If you recall, in our opening note, we referred to some issues which we deferred for discussion to a later date. Since we have temporarily paused our trial, it seems an appropriate time to discuss this now. Last week we talked about the flaws of the jury trials. Today we will focus on the fallibility of eyewitness identification. In the last decade, witness identification reliability has been an issue focused upon by academics and practitioners alike. How did this discussion come about? Advancement in DNA technology, particularly in the late 90s and early 2000s, had a significant impact on the criminal justice system, both in the United States and in other countries. These advancements exposed instances where wrongful convictions occurred based solely on eyewitness testimony in cases such as rape. DNA evidence has been instrumental in exonerating individuals who were wrongfully convicted and often relied solely on eyewitness testimony. The use of DNA testing has shown that eyewitness testimony can be unreliable, as people's memories can be influenced by various factors, including stress, time, and suggestibility. The availability of DNA evidence has shed light on cases where innocent individuals were wrongly convicted based on a flawed eyewitness identification. As a result of these revelations, there have been ongoing discussions and reform in the criminal justice system to address the reliability of eyewitness testimony and to ensure that the best available evidence, including DNA evidence, is considered in investigations and court proceedings. These discussions have led to change in practices, such as the development of guidelines for conducting eyewitness identifications, increased emphasis on corroboration of witness testimony, and increased use of forensic evidence in criminal investigations. Some of those discussions have brought also some legislative changes in England and Wales, with, for example, the introduction of the Code D 2017, which amended the Criminal Evidence Act 1984 on procedure for identification of suspects. But in our opinion, more needs to be done. For example, members of the general public, all eligible for jury service, should be made aware of these issues and be prepared when called upon to decide in a criminal case, with serious consequences for the accused. One case from which we can learn is the case of Jennifer Thompson, a 22-year-old high-intelligent university student who set upon herself the task of remembering everything about her assailant when one night in 1984 she was raped by an intruder at campus. She promised herself that were she to survive this awful night, she would remember everything about her assailant: his accent, his mouth, the color of his eyes, his eyebrow, etc. And that would be able to identify him without uncertain terms. And so she did. She identified her assailant as Ronald Cotton, who for years maintained his innocence. When Ronald Cotton faced in prison a look-alike man by the name of Bobby Poole, he put in motion an appeal, but Jennifer Thompson again maintained that she was absolutely sure that Ronald Cotton was the perpetrator, only to be faced several years later with the awful truth to have sent to prison an innocent man. In fact, by then advanced DNA testing revealed that in fact Bobby Poole was the perpetrator. Picking Cotton is a book she co-authored with Ronald Cotton and makes an interesting read. Ronald Cotton and Jennifer Thompson are now friends and give talks on a regular basis to raise awareness on eyewitness testimony and reliability. So why is our memory faulty? An individual who visually experiences an event encodes that event as a memory, which may later be retrieved. So there are 3 stages to this process: encoding, storing, and recalling. All 3 parts of this memory retention are subject to contamination from external influences. Factors that can affect the encoding process can be circumstantial, such as, for example, how far from the event one is, or how lit the scene is, or how long the event lasted. Then there are individual circumstances. How tired is the witness? Was the witness under the effect of some substance which may have affected his perception, drinking alcohol, for example? Or was he or she stressed or particularly stressed on that day? And then social circumstances, whether the person involved in the event had similar characteristic as to the witness. People can be less accurate when describe people of different sex, racial background, age, etc. Once encoded, the records of a memory are not static and can be contaminated by various factors. This happens, for example, discussing the event with other people who were in situ and perceived the event in a different way than we did, or when seeing an inaccurate coverage of that event on the media. The amount of time since the event occurred is also a factor that may affect the accuracy on the storing of our memories. It's important to note that while advancements in DNA technology have played a significant role in highlighting the fallibility of eyewitness testimony, it does not mean that all eyewitness testimony is unreliable. Eyewitness testimony can still be valuable in investigations, but it is crucial to assess its reliability carefully and consider other corroborating evidence to ensure a fair and just legal process. Whilst in many cases an error in encoding, storing or recalling memory may lead to no more than embarrassing experience, in other cases the consequences can be catastrophic. So I urge you to be cautious when displaying confidence in recalling a memory which may have been contaminated from the outset or has become so with the passage of time. What you remember may not be exactly what you have witnessed. If you have found this video interesting and useful so far, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so that we can grow this channel to reach a wider audience. Thank you.